We're talking Chelsea in the Premier League. Of course, Thomas Tuchel's side in action today, comfortably beating Newcastle by 2-0. Giroud and Timo Werner on the score sheet to give Chelsea all 3 points. And it's a victory that lifts them now into the top 4. Level on points with West Ham. They go above Liverpool. Stevie, let's start with you. Big takeaways from this game?
That Chelsea right now can comfortably take care of business against sides that they're supposed to. You know, they've been on a good run, you can't deny that. 6 in the trot, I believe. But really, the only test they've really had so far has been Tottenham. So once some tougher games come along, I think we can start thinking about whether this team is good enough to sustain a challenge and be in the top 4.
Don, what's the main difference you've seen under Tuchel that we didn't see under your boy Frank?
I think the main difference, Dan, is he's keeping players on their toes. You're not quite sure what 11 he's going to pick, what system they're going to play in. Players are finding themselves on the bench, so some will be happy, some not. Marcos Alonso's come from absolutely nowhere to being back into the 11, playing in his best position, which is the left-sided wing-back. So I think what he does, Thomas Tuchel, he changes the system, changes players, and I think on the training ground that keeps everyone sharp. It's not ideal, I don't think. I quite prefer a manager to name beside and have a little bit of consistency, but I get why he's doing it. And they're getting good results, they're playing good football. That was a professional performance, I thought, tonight. They were always going to beat Newcastle. I didn't give Newcastle a prayer, really, before the game, the amount of injuries that they've got. But a professional performance and back into the top 4.
You like what you're seeing, Frank?
I like what I saw for the first half, when Chelsea really dominated and created chances. And they scored 2 goals. But the second half, I wonder what they were doing. And we lost Mount, we lost Werner. They were quite invisible. Fortunately, we got Kepa back, who made some 2 good saves. But that's it. And I'm very comfortable with the defensive aspect of the Chelsea game. But I'm still wondering, what sometimes they do offensively. When they make the last pass is too slow, too soft. They don't take the right decision. I don't know. There is something wrong still in that matter, but it's not due to Tuchel. It's maybe due to the players who are not confident enough. It's good that Werner scored a goal finally in the Premier League, and maybe can pass that bad time. But I still wonder, and like Steve said, that I want to see in the big game against a big team what's going to happen to the guys and how they're going to react. But so far they do it well. They do what they have to do. But they still not convince me that they are back. They're back in the first force position, but I'm still not convinced that they can stay, and they're very solid. So I want to see that.
Timo Werner getting that goal. Nice for him, obviously, considering all the criticism he's received over the last few weeks.
Well, yeah, and the fact that he has played quite a bit means to me that Tuchel has wanted to get this guy back in the goals and back creating. Unfortunately, the fact that he has gone out his way to maybe do that with him and maybe some other players, Hudson-Odoi again, means that one guy's missing. Pulisic. What has Pulisic done? Can somebody tell me? Because Don was saying it there. He's been giving everybody a chance. We don't know what the selection is. And by the way, we didn't know the selection when Frank was in charge. But obviously, we're giving Tuchel a little bit of leeway because he doesn't know the players.
And he's getting results.
Right. But there's one guy who hasn't started in the Premier League since he came. And that's the guy we all thought would be in the team. And that was Pulisic. Before his injury, he was the focus of Chelsea going forward.
So what's the psyche here? What's Tuchel thinking?
The only thing I can think is that Tuchel said to him, look, I'm going to take a certain amount of time here to figure everybody out. I know exactly what you can do. I've spent time with you. I know your game inside out. Because if it's not that, then what else is it?
Because if I'm a player, I'm not buying that.
If I'm Pulisic, I'm chapping on the door. But at the end of the day, you're talking about what kind of relationship do they have? And because of the past relationship, maybe Pulisic is just hanging back a little longer because now is the time to go and see the manager. Pulisic should be playing. I agree with Frank. I don't see this change going forward. And Pulisic sometimes can be a little bit of a gamble. He's very direct, and that's what I like about him. Right. Sometimes it doesn't come off. Maybe that's why Tuchel's not playing him. But absolutely, Pulisic has to be at the manager's door and ask her what is going on.
What's he thinking, Don?
The only thing I can think of is maybe he knows his history of injuries, so maybe he's trying to protect him. Maybe he needs him to be a little bit stronger. He knows him obviously from his Dortmund days, so he knows his character. He's looked fit to me, but he's been carrying 1 or 2 knocks and coming back from a long-term injury. Tuchel might be doing some work behind the scenes with a sports scientist where they're looking at all the data and thinking, well, he can't sustain probably 2 or 3 games in a short period of time. But I think that's me sort of searching for an excuse. But if he's going to be knocking at Tuchel's door, I think join the queue, by the way, because I think Reece James would be there. I think Ben Chilwell would be there as well. So there's a long list of players I think going to be knocking on Thomas Tuchel's door if they don't get selected. Because I looked at the bench tonight. The bench was incredible. And it's a fantastic squad that he's got to work with. But, you know, footballers are all about egos. You think about yourself. And when a new manager comes in and you find yourself on the bench, you ain't going to be happy.
Go on, Frank.
I think that's the main point. You know, in some teams, you know, you have leaders, and there is no way that you can say, you know, I'm better than him, and he's a leader, and I know he's going to play and everything. That's not the point. That's not the case for Chelsea, where you have players who are at the same level, who've been bought for expensive prices, like Ziyech, like Chilwell, Pulisic, Werner, Havertz, Kante, you know, and they're all on the bench. And that's going to be a problem at a certain point. And I think if they don't play, because the others are doing well, but if they don't play, it doesn't matter. They're going to knock at the door and they're going to say, okay, I want to go. Because I'm sure I'm going to play in some other teams, for other teams. So that's going to be an issue, because there is no kind of a hierarchy between the players. And it's going to be a problem. Tuchel will have to be very, very strong to make sure that he can manage those kind of ego problems that he's going to have very soon, if at some point Chelsea doesn't have good results.
Franco, Chelsea finishing top 4?
Hopefully, yes, they have the possibility. We see that Liverpool is struggling. Manchester United is not doing great as well, you know, for the past 2 games. It's possible. Everything is possible. The only thing I can say is Manchester City is going to be the champion of England. Yes. The others, I don't know.
Don, Chelsea top 4?
I think they'll get there. And I'll tell you, if I'm a Liverpool fan now, I'm worried. I still think Leicester have got 1 or 2 mistakes in them. They've got 1 or 2 defeats in them. But everyone has. I mean, Man United are not in great form. I think they've only got 2 wins in about 6 or 7 games. So, you know, there's some good form horses, and Chelsea are one of them.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.